So, this is 100 days in Terraria's 1 block skyblock mod. What does it change? Well, you spawn on 1 block, if you mine that block, things happen. You'll see later. I'm gonna do this on a master mode small world, since the Steam Workshop page of this mod says that I should make a small world for the proper experience. Enough stalling, enjoy the video. On day 1, I spawned into the world. The first thing I noticed was that my day counter was broken and it already said day 2. Not a good start. However, the second thing I noticed was that, well, we were on 1 block. I decided to mine it and see what happens, and I got a sand block. I kept mining it and I got many more materials. I decided to just turn on an auto clicker because why not, and I kept mining until day 2. Here's the thing. You can get a lot of items from mining this block. You can get blocks, materials, ores, gems, seeds, statues, and even life crystals. You can also get wooden, iron, and golden crates from mining this block, which is pretty cool. The weird thing is that you can also get boss summons, for example the suspicious looking eye. So once I came back, I was met with not only a lot of good loot, but also 4 life crystals, which I happily used. I then started work on my base. Then after that, I made a platform so enemies could start spawning. I didn't have much more materials, so I went for another mining session until day 3. I got more life crystals, so I used them. Then I made a gold broadsword and a platinum helmet with all the gold and platinum ore I got. I went for another mining session until the night of day 3, and then worked on a magic storage system. I then went for yet another mining session until the morning of day 4. I managed to get sailfish boots from the crates I got, which is basically Hermes boots but from crates. After working on my base a bit more, guess what I did? Another mining session. Very surprising, I know. You're going to see this a lot through the playthrough. At this point I had max HP from the amount of mining I did. I then saw in recipe browser that you can craft crates. Any crates, golden crates, jungle crates, sky crates, you name it. It required the biome materials, herbs, and more. With the herb seeds I got from mining, I worked on making a small herb farm for potions and crafting crates. I planned on specifically crafting jungle crates because I wanted to get the boomstick, which is a really good early game ranged weapon. And then on the night of day 5, another mining session ensues. After finishing the mining session on day 6, I worked on an arena to the right of the base, because the Eye of Cthulhu was probably going to spawn soon. And my suspicions were correct, as that night I felt an evil presence watching me. I quickly crafted a gold bow, some frostburn arrows, and I tried to fight back. But honestly, what did you really expect? I wasn't prepared at all, so naturally I died. After that terrible experience, I made myself a platinum chainmail, so now I had a full set of platinum armor. Once day 7 began, I tried to fight the king slime instead, but guess what it did? It just despawned. I'm not kidding, out of nowhere, it just teleported away. Looks like it was scared, right? After that happened, I just platformed to the left of the world, but I didn't platform all the way through it. I also saw moonglow blooming in my herb farm, and I have enough materials to craft jungle crates. But I got unlucky and I couldn't get the boomstick with the jungle crates I opened. While I waited for more moonglow to grow, I went for yet another mining session until the night of day 8. After finishing that mining session on day 8, I managed to get more moonglow to open more jungle crates, and I finally got the boomstick. Then I worked on my house until the morning of day 9. Then I spawned the goblin army with the goblin battle standards I got, and I died. A lot. But eventually I killed them. Then I went for another mining session to get snow blocks. Why did I need snow blocks? I wanted to make an artificial snow biome, but the wiki said I need 1,500 snow blocks, so I needed to farm up as much as I could. On day 10, I then started on my artificial snow biome. It took me until day 11 to finish it. I decided to buy some rope and go down until I was in the underworld, because I wanted to see if there was actually anything underground, but I didn't find anything, just an empty space. I felt an evil presence watching me again, but this time, I was ready. I buff up and the eye spawns. I managed to beat it pretty easily with the boomstick. Getting the Shield of Cthulhu is huge, it will help us out so much. I then started on my underground house. On day 12, the traveling merchant had arrived, and I saw that he had dynasty wood. So of course, I bought a lot of dynasty wood for my needs and started decorating my house with it. After that, I worked on a fishing pool with the water buckets I got from mining. I was gonna need it to fish for certain potions. On day 13, I continued to work on my underground base. I then made a stone platform to the left of the underground base because I wanted to find the goblin tinkerer. So I thought this would work, and indeed it did. I actually managed to find the goblin really easy. After rescuing the goblin, I reforged all my items to warding. I then buy myself some rocket boots and craft the spectre boots. I then go for another mining session hoping for more snow and some sand because I wanted to build an artificial desert. On day 15, I platformed all the way to the left of the world. I then started making an artificial jungle biome, then I made a fishing pool in the underground. I forgot to record day 16 and 17, but I didn't do much. All I did was just build an artificial corruption biome. On day 18, I went for a really big mining session until day 21. I just wanted to get as much sand as possible, since I need 2,000 sand to make an artificial desert. On day 21, I just worked on my house until day 22. I then tried to fight the Eater of Worlds, but just like the King Slime, it just despawned. On day 23, I worked on expanding my herb farm since I needed as much herbs as I could get, because I wanted to craft a lot of potions. I then worked on making an artificial desert with the sand I got until day 24. On day 25, a blood moon had finally occurred. So I killed a lot of blood moon enemies to try and get the money trough, however I couldn't get the money trough. I didn't really do much on day 26. I just did some boring stuff like expanding my snow biome and such. On day 27, I just made an artificial crimson biome, since I wanted to fight the Brain of Cthulhu instead of the Eater of Worlds, because I knew the Eater of Worlds would probably just despawn again. I then wanted to get stingers to make a thorn potion because I needed that to make a craftable demon altar. The 1 block skyblock mod added a recipe to make demon altars, which is really useful. So I used rope to go under my jungle biome. Not only did I make an artificial underground jungle biome, but I also found the lizard temple. It was somehow beneath the surface jungle biome I made, so that's nice. I just spent the entirety of day 28 and 29 building. I decorated my underground house, started on my desert house, and started on my jungle house. On day 30, I went for another big mining session till day 31, because I was low on money and I wanted to get as much crates as possible to get money, so I can reforge. On day 31, I killed the Eye of Cthulhu again for some money. And on day 32, I fought the Brain of Cthulhu. After I killed the brain, I platformed to the right of the world, and I found the dungeon. I then prepared an arena because I wanted to kill Skeletron the next night. So on day 33, I fought Skeletron. Once I killed Skeletron, I opened the treasure bag and I somehow managed to get the Skeletron mask again. I think I'm the chosen one, because for like 7 playthroughs in a row, I've got the Skeletron mask each time. By the way, it's a 33% chance. So then I explored the dungeon. I managed to find a cobalt shield, which is the only thing I was looking for, so I left after I found it. All I really did on day 34 was just decorate my houses. On day 35, I crafted the Necro armor set. I then went for another mining session because after Skeletron, many new materials were added to a pool of items you get when mining. Things like obsidian, hellstone, demonite, crimtane, and more. From days 37 to 38, I worked on a mob farm. I was going to use this later in hard mode to farm for the souls and items like the Rod of Discord. On day 39, I worked on my snow biome house. On days 40 to 42, I just AFK'd in my mob farm. I just wanted to get some money and also just test it out to see if it works. And indeed it did. I got tons of money and items from using it. On day 43, I just worked on my snow house again. On day 44, I made a fishing pool in the corruption because I wanted to fish for Imbonkai to get wrath potions, which will increase my damage. On day 45, I made an artificial ocean biome to the right of my world. On day 46, I knew I was very close to entering hard mode. But before I tried to kill the wall of flesh, I wanted to just go for one last very big mining session. I wanted to prepare as much as possible for hard mode, so I needed all the resources I could get. This big mining session lasted from day 46 to 52. On day 53, I made a wide platform in the underworld to get guide voodoo dolls to summon the wall of flesh. Once I got a voodoo doll, I made a lava pool with lava buckets I got from mining and summoned the wall of flesh. What you're seeing right now is the wall of fish run, a texture pack that I always use no matter what. For some reason, the wall of flesh was broken, as he didn't shoot any lasers, and no hungers responded. So this was free, right? Well, there's a catch. This boss annihilated my FPS completely. I don't know why or what happened, but my computer lagged so hard, and I died because I ran out of space in the world since I was using a mini shark, a weapon that doesn't deal good damage to the wall. So this time, I summoned it further from the end of the world so I knew I wouldn't run out of space, and I used the boomstick instead of a mini shark, since that dealt better damage. At this point, it was just a race to see what would get destroyed first, the wall or my PC. But I managed to secure the victory, saving my CPU from certain destruction. We have finally entered hard mode on day 54. On day 55, I just went for another mining session to get cobalt and palladium. The mining session went till day 56. On day 56, I made a cobalt armor set, and then tried to get a Rod of Discord in my mob farm. I waited until day 57, which is when I stopped. I didn't get it, but I still wanted to farm for it later. On day 57, all I really did was just make an artificial hallow biome. But then, I encountered a problem with something. I wanted to prepare for the mech bosses, however I realized something. How was I gonna make the summons for them? I needed a mithril or an orichalcum anvil to craft the summons. But I couldn't get mithril or orichalcum, because for some reason, I could only get cobalt or palladium from mining. I couldn't get the other hard mode tiers of ore at that time. Well, I could try to farm for the mech boss summons, but that would take way too long. It's a 1 out of 2,500 chance for any mech boss summon to be dropped by any enemy in the game if you're in hard mode. Farming for 3 items that are all a 1 out of 2,500 chance is going to take way too long. However, there is a way to get the other hard mode ores. Fishing. Hard mode crates have a chance to drop hard mode ores when opened, including orichalcum and mithril, but the chances are very low, so I didn't want to have to fish for so long. But remember how I could craft crates? When I searched in recipe browser, you couldn't craft any of the hard mode crates, only the pre-hard mode versions, except for the divine crates. The divine crate is actually the hard mode version of the hallowed crates you get. You could craft it for 30 pearl stone, 5 pixie dust, and 5 unicorn horns. It isn't actually that bad until you come to the realization that unicorn horns are going to take very long to get. But remember how I said you can get statues from mining? That's right, I had a unicorn statue. So all I had to do was wire it up so it works. So after buying a few wires from the mechanic, I had it working. But the chance to get a unicorn horn from a unicorn is 5% if you're using statues. So it took me a very painful amount of auto-clicking from days 57 to 64, but eventually, this happened. That's right, I got enough mithril bars to get a mithril anvil. It took me so long, but I could finally progress with the game again. On day 65, I grinded for more pixie dust to craft holy arrows. I was going to use the Daedalus Stormbow against the Destroyer, which was the first mech boss I wanted to fight. And that night, I fought the Destroyer. And I ended up dying. On day 66, I reforged all my items. I was much more prepared with many more buffs and better reforges, so I should be able to beat it, right? Nope. Even with calming potions, for some reason so many enemies were spawning, and I ran into a wraith that dealt over 100 damage to me. On day 67, I upgraded my loadout once again. I killed the wall of flesh again and managed to get the ranger emblem, a very useful ranger accessory. I then fought the destroyer again, and this time I actually beat it. Because I still had a lot of buffs up, I decided to make another mechanical worm and fight the destroyer again for more hallowed bars. But I still didn't have enough to make the full hallowed armor set. On day 69, I used the shark statue to farm sharks to get shark fins. And then I crafted the Mega Shark. I then fought the twins. On day 70, I fought Skeletron Prime. Once I defeated Skeletron Prime, I went for another mining session to get enough chlorophyte for a chlorophyte chop bow. On day 71, I then made a mushroom biome in the underground. Why, you may ask? I want truffle worms. I had a plan to fight Duke Fishron pre-Plantera. If I could kill Fishron pre-Plantera, I could skim my way through all of hard mode up until Moonlord. I then managed to catch a truffle worm, and I worked on my Fishron arena to the right of the world. Once I finished the arena, I buffed up and summoned Fishron. Or at least I tried to. For some reason, even though I was at the ocean fishing with a truffle worm, Fishron wasn't getting summoned. But then it turns out, in the wiki it said to summon Fishron, you need to fish at an ocean biome in a water pool that's over 1,000 tiles large. And my water pool wasn't over 1,000 tiles, so I needed to expand my ocean biome a bit, which is exactly what I did. I spent until day 73 filling my ocean biome with water. Once I had finished filling up the ocean, I tried to summon Fishron again, and it worked. But I ended up dying. So I tried again, and this time I was actually able to beat it. However, I got the Tempest Staff, which wasn't going to help me since it was a summoner weapon. I just spent day 74 fishing since I was low on Wrath Potions and Life Force Potions. On day 75, I tried fighting Fishron one more time because I wanted to get a Tsunami. A very good bow dropped by Fishron, and sure enough, I actually got it this time. A Plantera bulb had grown in my underground jungle, and guess what I did? Without any arena whatsoever, I just broke the Plantera bulb and summoned Plantera. You may think that this is a very bold move, but remember, I have the Tsunami, dropped by Duke Fishron, a boss people normally fight after Golem. So then I proceed to completely annihilate Plantera. Seriously, this thing melted Plantera. On day 76, I made a surface glowing mushroom biome so the truffle could move in. The truffle is very useful to me since I could buy the auto hammer and get Shroomite armor, a very good ranger armor set. From day 77 to 81, I built my hallowed house and got the hallowed python. From days 82 to 85, I go on another mining session to get more chlorophyte. I needed as much chlorophyte as possible since I was gonna need it to make the Shroomite armor set. From days 86 to 88, I farmed for the Rod of Discord in my mob farm. Again. This time, I was set on getting it. At one point, while I was questioning my life choices, I finally got the Rod of Discord. From days 89 to 95, I just did some boring grinding and building that I just want to skim over. I decorated some houses, grinded Fishron for Fishron wings, and more importantly, got the Ankh shield, which took me a long time. On day 96, I fought the Empress of Light. So after that, I decided enough was enough. I was gonna beat the Moonlord here and now. I've prepared enough. So the next day, I fought Golem. After that was over, the same day I fought the Lunatic Cultist. So after I killed the Cultist on day 98, I destroyed the Vortex Pool. And also made the Shroomite armor set. The armor set I was going to use for Moonlord. On day 99, I destroyed the Nebula, Stardust, and finally the Solar Pillar. Impending doom was approaching. This is it. Then the Moonlord spawned. And of course I died. But I wasn't going down just yet. I was still able to make a Celestial Sigil. I was only able to make one since I got unlucky with getting fragments. And on day 100, I fought the Moonlord one more time. And there you go. I beat the game in this One Block Terraria mod. If you would like to try out this mod, the link is in the description. This was a very different type of video, different from my usual short and hyper edited videos. If you'd like to see more of these videos, comment down below. Anyways, thanks for watching this video and have a great day.